Hear ye, hear ye, hear ye. The Circuit Court of the 11th Judicial Circuit in and for Miami-Dade County is now in session. The Honorable Judge Nusha Safer presiding. All persons having business before this court, come nigh and you shall be heard. God save the United States of America and this honorable court.
Thank you, Laird. Good afternoon, family, friends, guests here and in the overflow rooms, and to all of our virtual guests. Welcome to the investiture of the Honorable Joseph Perkins as Circuit Court Judge of the 11th Judicial Circuit of Florida. Please remain standing as we ask a very special guest to come up and lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. As I say every week, these are getting cuter and cuter. The judge's son, Graham Perkins, age 4. Ready, Graham? Come on down.
I pledge allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Graham, well done. Now, as we continue to remain standing, please welcome Reverend Dr. Anthony Reed from the Martin Memorial AME Church for the invocation.
Let us pray. God, we come to you today with sincere hearts, first to say thank you. We thank you, God, because history is being made. We thank you because, Lord, we believe that you dwell even in this courthouse. We're grateful, God, because even in a system or a time where there's separation of church and state, we can really not be separated because the church needs the state and the state needs the church. We lift up, God, this invested judge, Judge Joe Perkins. We thank you because we believe in family, faith, and we believe in fairness. We're grateful because he has a heart of fairness. He loves his family, and he believes that there is a higher source. Today, we stand in proxy with him. Judges, attorneys, civilians, and persons who we believe have the good of the American system at heart. Bless his governing. Bless his decisions. God, give him wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Give him the strength of the judges of the Bible, that he would have a heart that would always have a conscience for the people. Bless now all of those who will come before him and give him the peace beyond all understanding as he makes decisions in regards to people's livelihood. Bless now his reign in the order of your standards. This is our prayer today, and we believe it is so as you cover this courthouse and this newly elected judge. We grant your grace and your mercy. In the name of your Son, Jesus, I pray. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Thank you all. Please be seated. On this very special day, we have some special guests who have joined us, both virtually and in person. For those of you who are here, I'm going to ask you to please stand as I call your name so you can be recognized. For those of you that aren't here, we're waving at you and happy that you're with us virtually. From the County Commission, we have Commissioner Keon Hardiman. City of Miami City Attorney Vicki Mendez. City of Miami Gardens, Council Member Linda Julian. City of Miami Gardens, Councilman Robert Stevens. City of Miami Gardens, Councilman via live stream Shannon Campbell. From the Consulate of Japan, this is a new one. We have the Consul General, Kazuhiro Nakai. That's pretty cool. From the City of Miami Gardens, Reggie Leon, Vice Mayor. From the Florida House of Representatives, Juan Fernandez Barquin, State Representative. Also from the Florida House of Representatives, Felicia Robinson, also State Rep. Magdalena Riquelme from the District Office Manager on behalf of Congresswoman Maria Elvira Salazar. Leah Padron, Southern Regional Director for the Office of Senator Marco Rubio. From the U.S. Court of Appeals for the 11th Circuit via live stream, someone who needs no introduction, wish he was here in person, Judge Robert Luck. From the 3rd District Court of Appeal, retired judge and former Chief Frank Shepard. Judge Shepard here, I think also via live stream, so hi Judge Shepard. From the 3rd District Court of Appeal, one of our alums of both the county and circuit bench, Judge Eric Hendig. From the Asian American Advisory Board of Miami-Dade County, Luna Adachi is the director. She's here by live stream. Coral Gables Bar Association and first gentleman of the Circuit Court, Paul John Scanziani, House President. From the Cuban American Bar Association, Nori Costa Lopez on behalf of past President Dax Bello. Miami-Dade Bar Association, past President Jane Muir. From the Dominican American Bar Association, the president via live stream, Brenda Gitchev Guerrero. From the Florida Association of Criminal Defense Lawyers, Miami-Dade Chapter, Kevin Hellman, president. Past president of the Florida Bar, Dory Foster Morales. President of the Gwen S. Cherry Black Women Lawyers Association and former legal staff of the 11th Judicial Circuit, Nakia Ruffin. From the South Florida Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, Luis Casas, Director. From the Legal Prosecutors, this person is with us virtually, Ben Gallis, President. From the City of Miami Beach and the Miami Beach Bar Association, Michael Gongora, former Commissioner. Miami Lakes Bar Association, Trinette Zarin, the President. And with us via live stream, Richard Cooper, Executive Director of the Miami-Dade County League of Cities. Those of you who know Judge Perkins are not surprised by what he's doing right now, but he's making sure. I keep telling him I want him to relax today, but it's not going to happen. And Luis Conte Aguero, and someone again who needs no introduction, the Colonel from La Poderosa radio station, are both here with us. So thank you.
Thank you.
And from the Police Benevolent Association, on behalf of President Stedman Stahl, is Dave Greenwell. I said these two. I said all these people. From the Hispanic Police Officers Association, Executive Vice President Ranif, I'm sorry, I can't read that, Burka. Yes, thank you. Anyone else? I'm going to let him get up here and do this. Did y'all hear that? Eric Johnson from the South. Anyone else who I was not mentioned, with my apologies, please check in with Eunice or my assistant, or Johnson outside, and they will make sure that I get to you. If Judge Perkins doesn't tell me first. All right, so we also have here today members of our Greater Court family. And on behalf of Public Defender Carlos Martinez, we have Rick DeMaria. On behalf of our State Attorney, Catherine Fernandez-Rundle, we have Steve Talpin's Chief Assistant. On behalf of Gene Zenobi, our Regional Counsel, we have Margaret Julian. And virtually, on behalf of Harvey Rubin, we have Doreen Ruggiero, one of his directors. And finally, last but certainly not least, supporting our day-to-day court operations with their expertise and wisdom, the judiciary is nothing without them. Sandy Garcia, who's our deputy trial court administrator. Our fabulous AV team who makes this possible, not just the investiture, but able to share this with all of our virtual guests, our incredible AV team. And Eunice Ziegler, who's out there. She should be in here relaxing. And my staff, Ara Johnson, and of course Larry Chester, who have been doing a lot now of the heavy lifting of the investitures. Thank you all for making this day possible for us, and thank everybody so far for being with us. Now for remarks on behalf of the Florida Bar, we have our past president, esteemed attorney, incredible friend of the courts, the fabulous Dory Foster.
May it please the court, I was told to speak this way and not turn around, so I won't. I rarely actually follow instructions, but I'm going to try to. Just ask my husband. May it please the court, Chief Judge Safety, Judge Perkins, and of course all the judges that are here today. It is both, again, my honor and pleasure to be here on behalf of the Florida Bar and its over 108,000 members to come before this esteemed court in this beautiful ceremonial courtroom to bring greetings on behalf of the bar, and in my role as past president, it is really my honor and privilege. Now, as past president of the bar, I want to personally welcome everyone who's come here today to congratulate and celebrate Judge Perkins, who is being formally invested to the Circuit Court of the 11th Judicial Circuit, where he currently sits in the criminal division where so many of us got our start. So many of us. I see so many faces of people that I, prosecuted against, and of course we're all judges now. And so it's just such a wonderful place. Hopefully they don't hold that against me, but I don't think so. It's a long time ago. But it is such a great place to start your career as a judge, because we all know that it's really where justice is meted out in such an important way when people's civil liberties are at stake. So I'm here, of course, to thank the members of the bench and the bar, and really to congratulate Judge Perkins' whole family and friends who are here today, and he has so many. I know he campaigned vigorously and he created such a great community outreach that, and you see it here today among the diversity of folks that are here to celebrate this beautiful occasion. And of course, want to thank those that are appearing virtually in that new way that we can all appear, no matter what our condition is, to celebrate these sorts of monumental occasions. Most of you know that Judge Perkins campaigned and was elected in August of 2020. I just don't understand how anyone campaigned in August of 2020. I was stuck home with my husband. He was trying to run a government. I was trying to run a law practice. So whenever I hear about people who campaigned under really adverse circumstances, it's really admirable. And of course, with the support of so many in the community, he assumed office. He won an election. He assumed office to his current duties in January of 2021. So one of Judge Perkins' really great qualities is his patience, because he's waited a long time for this investiture, long time. And we're glad that we can all be here together safely to do this in person. And with so many difficulties, so many incredible difficulties facing our county and really the world today, it's so wonderful to be here to honor Judge Perkins, who in his life traveled, a really long distance to get here. He started college in Philadelphia, in Drexel University. He went on to law school at Boston College. Through his early years as an associate, everyone knows what that's like, as an associate in civil litigation until he ascended to his partnership. So he has this incredible breadth of experience and life experience to get him here to this courtroom today. And I know that all of those experiences are going to bode him well. And while usually I try to say like, oh, I know Judge Perkins because I've been here forever, and I've known him because he went to Beach High with me, or he went to Belen with my son, or I don't know, he worked on the county commission in a low-level position before he was, but I don't have any of those things to say about him. So I was like, what am I going to say about Judge Perkins? Well, I have an associate. And so while Judge Perkins did not go to Beach High or Belen, he was a fierce and tireless campaigner, and I learned from my associate, Evelyn Lopez, who is here. She was an assistant public defender, and she told me that her very last assignment was in front of Judge Perkins. And what she said to me was, I think, something that's already been said about the judge at the very first remarks today, which was, Judge Perkins really imbues and believes the most significant thing he can do as a judge is to be fair. Fairness is his sort of keynote quality. So in preparing for my remarks today, I looked up the definition of fair, because we all use it a lot, but I wanted to make sure I was using it right. So the Oxford Dictionary says, fair is in accordance with the rules or standards, legitimate. It also means light or blonde, but I'm going to go with the first definition. I also looked at the Code of Judicial Conduct, which is really a pretty amazing document because it tells judges how they're supposed to act, and it's like 123 words in length. It's 7 canons, very, very simple. And Canon 3 states, a judge shall perform the duties of judicial office impartially and diligently. So Judge Perkins fully understands what is important in being a judge, and I know he will continue to persevere as a fair and impartial jurist. So today, I, along with all the members of the Florida Bar and the citizens of Miami-Dade County, congratulate Judge Perkins on his successful election, this formal swearing in, his work to date on the bench, and focusing his efforts on being fair and impartial jurist, and I look forward to watching Judge Perkins continue to grow and develop. Thank you for giving me an opportunity to speak.
And now for remarks on behalf of the Miami-Dade Bar Association, another fabulous past president and distinguished attorney. Please welcome Jane Muir.
That was so fair that he got back up and gave Pastor Neil a hug. I know I'm getting a hug next. Or I hope. May it please the court, judges, friends, and family. Japan has a mystical and varied culture, steeped in the deepest of traditions, going back thousands of years. Arts, literature, and poetry are referred to as living national treasures. Although its roots are firmly entrenched in the past, it also looks at new trends and technologies which it can embrace. It focuses on respect and dignity with a deep sense of honor. And if you should visit Japan, you can expect to be treated with dignity and politeness. If you should visit the courtroom of Judge Joe Perkins, you can also expect to be treated with dignity and politeness. And if you say konnichiwa to Judge Perkins, you may even receive an invitation to lunch. Judge Perkins, you see, is an avid learner. Over the last 15 years, when he was not practicing in the areas of bankruptcy and creditors' rights with Lydecker Diaz, or spending time with his wife Fernanda and his sons Graham and Clark, Judge Perkins was studying, among other things, Japanese. To enable him to acquire fluency in a language so different from our own, he studied memory retention techniques, made 50,000 flashcards, visited Japan regularly, and whenever he came across someone who spoke Japanese, he would ask them to lunch. Communicating in Japanese was not the only skill Judge Perkins has developed. As he and Fernanda have improved their home, he learned landscaping, he learned electrical wiring, and he set up an enviable smart home and a security system complete with lasers. Not a joke. Of course, he had to learn plumbing also, so that his home would be complete with the finest of Japanese smart toilets. Judge Perkins is also interested in studying the arts and sciences. If you want to know when the International Space Station is passing overhead, ask him. His interest in applied technology and art has led him to learn animation, and he's even made his own videos. In Japan, some of the core values are doing your best and never giving up. Judge Perkins exemplifies these values in his desire to experiment with practical skills, to reach competency in all of his varied interests, and of course we have seen today he values accuracy, efficiency, preparation, and civility. According to John Adams, judges should always be men of learning and experience in the laws, of exemplary morals, great patience, calmness, coolness, and attention. On behalf of the Dade County Bar Association, we present this ceremonial constitution and this calligraphy saying our thanks in Japanese. So we welcome the Honorable Judge Perkins to the bench and say arigato, or thank you, from the 19,000 attorneys of the 11th Judicial Circuit for your service to the community.
Can you read that? Is that what it says? I'm going to ask the Counsel General. For us. All right, in addition to these gifts, we have some plaques here commemorating the special day from the Conference of Circuit Court Judges, your long-awaited Judge Joe Perkins desk plate, and also a gift from the Cuban American Bar Association to adorn your walls, and another gift from the Gwen S. Cherry Black Women Lawyers Association. So thank you to everyone for those gifts, for Judge Perkins, who's been waiting a year for them, and now they're here. And now for personal remarks on behalf of the judge's family and friends, we have Emmanuel Galamidi, the judge's friend and partner from Lydecker Diaz.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm incredibly grateful to have the opportunity to be up here for, was it 30, 45 minutes? About 3 to 4 minutes. And just say a few words. And as I was putting my thoughts together to see what I could share that perhaps would help you all, to the extent that you don't know Joe as well as I do, I've known him for about 15 years, Judge Perkins in the courtroom, of course. What I could say or what thoughts I could impart to help you better understand him. And we know one really stuck out to me, and I'll set the stage. It was a very muggy, really hot, late August evening, which of course is well, most evenings in Miami, but this one was in August. The election results were coming in, and we were getting very excited, and you know, a lot of hope and a lot of joy and a lot of optimism. And as the results started coming in the afternoon and the early evening, and those of you who run for office obviously know what that's all, what that's like. And you know, he starts reaching out to supporters, people who had just met him, that were avid supporters, people who'd known him for a very, very long time, friends, family, reached out to his opponent, and almost immediately starts making plans for the next day, and what he's going to do, and how he's going to do it, and how grateful he is, and how optimistic he is about the future. And I'm like, okay, you know, Judge, Joe at the time, I said, I get it, that's great. And then we spoke the next morning, and the same zeal, the same optimism, the same forthrightness was present, and it was really incredible to see. But one thing I failed to mention at the beginning of the comments was, this was not August 2020. This was August 2018, the unsuccessful campaign. But here's the thing. I was there for both, as was Fernanda and her family, and Graham as well, although I think he was asleep. The same person was present on both occasions. Whether he was successful or unsuccessful, the same temperament was there. The same steadfastness, the same commitment to his supporters, to the county really, was there, which was incredibly impressive and admirable. And I wanted to share that story because in today's age, when it's all about the quick take and the fast point you want to make and the mindless commentary a lot that we see generally, it is a true blessing to the county, and it's a personal blessing for me to see that and to know that someone like that is on the bench. To be even-keeled and balanced each and every day, irrespective of the outcome, is something that I truly admire. So to Joe's family, to all his supporters, and of course to Judge Perkins, congratulations. I'm very happy to be your friend.
And now for further remarks on behalf of the judge's family and friends, we have visiting all the way from Ohio, Dr. Joshua Peck, the judge's high school friend.
Hello, everyone. It's wonderful to be among so many distinguished and accomplished professionals, proud friends, and family members as we gather here to mark Joe Perkins' investiture as judge of the Florida 11th Judicial Circuit Court. I've had the privilege of speaking at numerous events over the years, both professional and personal, and I can honestly say that being here is amongst the highest of all honors I've ever had. My name is Joshua Peck. I've had the great fortune of growing up with Joe and his family and being best friends since we were teenagers. Joe told me to keep this professional, so I'm going to hold off on the many, many tales and hilarious misadventures that we've shared as we experienced adolescence together. But mostly it's for Fernanda, and I'll hold that promise for you. I'll begin by mentioning Joe has always been a leader, someone who's never afraid to be himself or forge his own path when there was not one already there to follow. I have been inspired by Joe's relentless ambition and motivation, and am grateful that we have been able to maintain our unique bond over the years. When I was thinking about what to talk about today, I was reminded of when Joe decided he wanted to go to law school and the subsequent months that followed when he and I barely spoke while he intensely studied for the LSAT. I was not surprised in the least when he called and said that he was accepted into law school. I also wasn't surprised when he mentioned that he was learning Japanese, and honestly, by the time he even mentioned it, he was like pretty close to proficiency. There's no denying that Joe is one of the most driven people I know, and when he sets a goal, I never doubt his ability to achieve it. On a personal level, I honestly can thank Joe for giving me the metaphorical kick in the rear I needed to push me into realizing my own potential. As freshmen in college, we were having just a normal phone conversation, and it just got really deep really quickly, and he kind of turned the light switch on for me that I could accomplish more than I ever thought I could, that I ever thought I was capable of. And this led to the confidence I needed to pursue and achieve a successful career as a physician. This is a great quality for a judge to possess, the ability to see more in people than they see in themselves. When Joe was practicing law at a firm, we were speaking about our professional lives, and he mentioned he wanted to be a judge. I could tell by the tone in his voice that this was something that was much more than a suggestion. He had already put it on the radar of his ambitions. I received his campaign materials very shortly thereafter. Joe, we are so proud of you. And I know your mom's here in spirit in her lovely picture right there. I can picture her smile and the way her whole body would express her love and pride and joy when she talked about you or was there for one of your many, many accomplishments. As you take the bench and pledge your fidelity to the Constitution in service of the American people in Florida, I thank you for your dedication to strengthening the rule of law and bolstering our system of justice. I am certain that your service as judge of Florida's 11th Judicial Circuit Court will be defined by the same standards of excellence, the same level of motivation, determination, and devotion to duty, and the overall sense of honor and integrity that have categorized your professional life as I know it. It's a privilege to know you and call you a friend, and congratulations, Your Honor.
We always say it's not a good investiture unless there's some tears. So. We also need some laughs, though, so some of those old stories would have actually been Now for the oath of office and robing, I would like to ask our very own alum of the County and Circuit Bench and now 3rd District Court of Appeals Judge Eric Hendon to join Judge Perkins and his team, I say team, at the podium. Welcome back up. Come on back up, Graham. And if you could please bring your adorable and fresh little baby brother, Clark. Wife, Fernanda, who looks spectacular. Your in-laws, Judy and Albert Vilota. Nice move there, good. Back up, welcome back up, Mr. Emmanuel Galamidi. Welcome back up, Dr. Peck from high school. And welcome Dr. Mike Frank, who's here from Maine, who's a college buddy, and I was told by Judge Perkins to add, he's newly single and a cosmetic dermatologist. Dr. Frank, we welcome you to Miami. This could be a good place for you.
Judge, will you please raise your right hand? I state your name.
I, Joseph Perkins,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support, protect, and defend the Constitution and government of the United States
that I will support, protect, and defend the Constitution and government of the United States
and of the state of Florida,
and of the state of Florida,
that I am duly qualified to hold office under the Constitution of the state,
that I am duly qualified to hold office under the Constitution of the state,
and that I will faithfully perform the duties of Judge of the Circuit Court in and for the 11th Judicial Circuit of Florida,
and that I will faithfully perform the duties of as judge of the Circuit Court in and for the 11th Judicial Circuit of Florida,
on which I am now about to enter, so help me God.
in which I am now about to enter, so help me God.
Congratulations, Judge.
Chief Judge Safey, colleagues, and distinguished guests, thank you so much for coming today. It's very moving to me that you've taken your time out of your day to be here for this celebration and this ceremony, and I'm really grateful. I appreciate that my friends and colleagues are here. Over the past year, speaking with you and learning from you has made me so much of a better judge, so thank you all. I'm grateful to my first law firm as a lawyer, Lydecker Diaz. That firm, in addition to giving me experience, enabled me to meet friends who stuck with me for decades, including Emmanuel Galamidi, who one of our speakers. Thank you to Garbett, Allen and Rosa, a firm that employed me for 9 years and at which I became partner, and for tolerating the campaign, the campaigns plural. Thank you to Linda Kraft, my judicial assistant, and Chris Chiquita, my bailiff. I can say without reservation or hesitation that the two of you are the glue that holds our office together. Thank you to the clerks, the calendar clerks, corrections officers, and court reporters who work day in and day out to make our justice system work. Thank you, Pastor Reed, for your friendship and the beautiful invocation. Thank you to all of our speakers whose kind words and advice I take to heart. And I especially thank you to my high school friends for not telling any stories. Thank you, Judge Hendon, for the honor of swearing me in. But I would also like to thank the 190,367 voters of Miami-Dade County who elected me to this office. Thank you for the most humbling honor of my life. I know you did not make this decision lightly. I recognize the sanctity of the office that I now hold. And while through that office I am charged with the vital responsibility of applying principles put to paper centuries ago to the pressing issues and problems of our day, I also recognize that law is not merely words on a piece of paper or an intellectual exercise, but it's something that affects people's lives. To quote Justice Oliver Wendell Holmes, the life of law has never been logic. It's experience. Experience being tested by obstacles and barriers, experience insisting, persisting, and overcoming those barriers. It's experience that can give a judge a common touch, a sense of compassion, and an understanding of how the world works and how people live. Many of you have heard my story, have heard my experience. I'll never forget being an 18-year-old standing on a street corner in Kensington, Philadelphia, with no money in my pockets and no plans for the future. And the only reason I'm not on that corner today is because I had a glimmer of hope. Hope that with effort and focus and a promise to pull myself up whenever I'm knocked down, that perhaps I too could share my small part of the American dream. A few months later, I met Fernanda, the woman who would be my wife. We eloped and married as teenagers with big dreams, and that same spirit of hope and perseverance continues with us today, 20 years later. But my story, my experience, paints only a limited picture of my perspective. Traversing our great county during years of campaigning, hearing your stories, enabled me to see all that is Miami-Dade County converge. Neighbors who are lawyers, teachers, business people, and laborers. Neighbors in underserved communities and community leaders. Native-born Americans, immigrants, refugees, police officers, individuals accused of crimes, and crime victims. All with a story to tell. All seeking a seat at the table. All deserving acknowledgement, all deserving to be heard. I also made lasting friendships during this process, friends I see in the room today. I want to acknowledge the organizations that supported me so heavily through the years, so steadfastly through the years. Thank you so much to the South Florida Police Benevolent Association, to the Hispanic Police Officers Association, the South Florida Council of Firefighters, the Fraternal Order of Police, the National Organization for Women, United Teachers of Dade, and the Save Action PAC. I'm so grateful to all of you. I stand on the shoulders of countless people, and I could not, in the few minutes that I have today, mention the names of all the friends and supporters who lifted me up, who lifted me to the opportunity to serve in this capacity. Whether you raised or contributed money, pounded the pavement, picked up the phone, drove people to the polls, or held a Perkins sign in the scorching August heat, each of you will know today that my heart is bursting with gratitude for all that you have done for me. Thank you. I'm grateful to my in-laws, Judith and Alberto Villota. Your countless hours of babysitting, handing out campaign literature, and making deliveries was essential to this victory. Muchas gracias. Agradezco mucho. Te quiero, les quiero. There's one extraordinary person who's my life aspiration. That person is my wife, Fernanda. You've made many sacrifices for me, Fernanda, and it's because of you that I'm here. You're a woman of formidable talents, having pursued a very successful career as a nurse anesthetist, the mom of our 2 boys, and my life partner. You're my everything, as you know. Thank you. Graham, for nearly the first 4 years of your life, we were in campaign mode. You all saw the signs. You saw the billboards. Thank you for your patience and for allowing me to be your father. You are growing into such a fine young man, and I'm so proud of you as you learn to make good decisions. Daddy will always be here for you. I love you. And to my baby Clark, one day, we've only known you for a few weeks, but one day maybe you'll watch the video of this and you'll hear this message. I've loved you from the very start. From the moment I heard your heartbeat, strong like a lion, you stole my heart. You stole my breath and embraced my heart. Our life together has just begun, but you are part of me. In closing, I stand here today and I remain humbled by the task before me and grateful for the trust that you have bestowed upon me. As we reaffirm the greatness of our system, I understand that greatness is never a given. It needs to be protected. It needs to be earned. It must be constantly improved. This journey is not and can never be one of shortcuts, one of settling for less. I still keep a campaign sign in my entryway, and I see it every day as I leave my house and go to work, because it serves as a reminder that every time I put on these robes, I do so in service to our community. I do so in service to you. Thank you, Miami-Dade County. And I look forward to seeing everyone at the reception after this event at Bay 13 Brewery in Coral Gables. Thank you.
So this is, when we started COVID, and I took over from, when I started my job as chief, I realized when I sat down with Judge Soto, Chief Judge Emeritus Judge Soto, that during COVID, 22 investitures had been canceled. This is now number 12. And actually, the good news is we did 6 all at one time, so we're further along than we thought. But as I was pondering sort of where we were in the investitures and where Judge Perkins fell, I realized that I had 12 of those 22 judges were judges that started their careers during the pandemic, which for those of you that are out there in the real world, it's such a difficult and a challenging thing for a lawyer or a judge, frankly, to learn over Zoom. And Judge Perkins, as you know, and as you've heard, and everything that I've heard about him makes sense, right? All of us, it makes sense. If you know him now, I love hearing the stories. But he wanted to be the best on day one. And I think that I have to give him credit for trying to navigate the Zoom waters still, because it's still not the real dynamic that we were used to as judges. We're in person, but it's still not the same thing. But he hit the ground running, and he's done a great job so far. And I just want to say, today I recognize what the challenges have been for judges that have started during the pandemic. I know it hasn't been easy. So on behalf of all of us here, thank you all for joining us. And welcome to the bench, Judge Perkins. And well done, Clark, and well done, Graham. Right now, this is an advertisement for having kids, right? I don't know if mine are productive. This is the best behaved children I think we've seen in this courthouse. So thank you so much for that. And the court is now in recess. For those of you that would like to greet the judge and his family, please come forward, and you can greet the judge and his family over here to your right.
right.
How are you, sir? Pleasure. Everything good? Yeah, we just we're done, man. We want to see what we can work out. We've actually worked together for a couple of years.
Can't take it anymore, you know.
Helps us, navigate our